What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. We got a loaded show coming up today. There's a lot of rumors going around with the Bulls possibly re-signing Nikola Vucevic. Apparently, the talks are it could be a 3-year deal. I got some thoughts on that and more. And then the Bulls Wire dropped a blockbuster trade where the Bulls would trade up in the NBA draft, move off Zach LaVine. I'll be diving into that trade and giving my reaction and more. And then I just got some thoughts on the Bulls and Heat because what the Heat have done in this NBA playoffs has been special. They're a bunch of dogs. They're gritty. They got good leadership. I just think they're honestly the polar opposite of the Chicago Bulls. I think the Bulls honestly have a more talented roster, but the Heat are playing in the NBA Finals and 3 games away from winning the 2023 NBA Championship. So I'll be kind of breaking that down and more. But guys, help us out. We are closing in on 2,000 subscribers here on the channel. We're 268 away. First off, thanks to everybody who has already hit that subscribe button. We're going to be your one-stop shop for Bulls news, rumors, trade rumors, whatever it is. The Bulls do end up making a big-time move in the offseason, which I fully expect them to do. We'll be your go-to YouTube channel. So help us out here. Hit that subscribe button. Free, easy way to just get more Bulls content on your own YouTube page. But let's talk about it. Vooch staying in Chicago. Shams put this report out early last week, and Crowley, a Bulls beat reporter, kind of resurfaced it this morning. But apparently the Bulls are working on a contract extension for Nikola Vucevic, and it also was reported that they ideally want to sign him to a 3-year deal. And when it comes to Nikola Vucevic, listen, man, he played all 82 games last year. Looking at the stat sheet again, it's kind of that thing with Vooch. It's like he can put up 18 and 12 and average a double-double on really solid efficiency. And it's just the thing is with Vooch is the defensive side of the floor, and if he can really be a third option on a championship team, because he's not going to be a first, he's not going to be a second, but can he kind of be that tertiary player on a championship team? I'm not sure. But in terms of re-signing Vucevic, I actually wouldn't hate this at all. Like, the only thing is with the Bulls is they got to kind of make a decision of what direction this franchise is going. Like, I wouldn't mind re-signing Vooch, but you got to make a choice. Like, you got to say, like, hey, we are committing fully to the rebuild, and we re-sign Vooch and maybe drop him off in a sign-and trade near the NBA trade deadline. Or you say, hey, we're going to re-sign Vooch, and we're going to try to go all in on winning, and maybe you move off Zach LaVine or move off DeMar, keep LaVine, keep Vooch, and try to get some right pieces around him. But overall, the Bulls need to decide what direction this franchise is going. I mean, I just feel like the Bulls are kind of stuck in that NBA purgatory right now, where it's like they're not good enough to obviously compete for an NBA championship, but they're not bad enough to get a top 10, top 5 pick in the NBA draft. Like, if the Bulls did have their own pick this year, it would have been 11th overall, which, you could still get some good prospects at that spot. But again, that's that purgatory zone of the NBA, and that's honestly the worst spot to be in. You either want to be really bad where you're competing for a top pick in the draft and get that next superstar, or you obviously want to be good and compete for championships. The Bulls are kind of in that in-between state right now. So that's why a decision like on Vooch, yeah, I would like to bring him back. I do think he's a top 5 center still in the NBA, but you got to make a decision on what direction this franchise is going first, because if you would bring him back and maybe you do commit to the rebuild, I wouldn't hate a sign and trade at all, because I do think you could potentially get a first-round pick for Vooch, especially closing in on the trade deadline next season. But I'll toss it your guys' way. This will be the pinned comment on today's video. Straight up, would you re-sign Vooch? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no down in the comments section. Obviously, a lot of it determines on, like I was saying, what direction the Bulls are going. But in terms of just bringing back Vooch, let me know what you would do. Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no. Now let's talk about the Bulls potentially trading up in the 2023 NBA draft. And in terms of any trade rumor that kind of gets thrown out there, any trade where the Bulls are trading up in the NBA draft, I am all in on it. I think this draft is loaded with a ton of great prospects, but this trade idea actually came from the Bulls Wire. They dropped this the other day, I think it was about 2 days ago, and this would be a blockbuster trade. The Bulls would be receiving Jalen Suggs, Gary Harris, and Jonathan Isaac. And then the 2 picks that were included in this trade, the 2023 pick, which was the Magic's pick at 11th overall in this upcoming draft. So the Bulls would be selecting at 11, and then the 2025 first-round pick would be lottery protected. And all the Bulls would have to give up, Zach LaVine. And I will say this before we kind of dive into the nits and grits and the nuts and bolts of this whole trade. I actually love this trade. Obviously, the Bulls are getting 3 young prospects that have already proven they can be a good talent in the NBA, and you're only giving up Zach LaVine, and plus you're getting that 11th overall pick, where I think there's a ton of prospects that I would love taking at that spot. But this is the Chat Sports big board cooked up by my man Rolly. We're just going to go through 6 through 15 right now. Obviously, Austin Thompson, Grady Dick, Keontae George, Jarris Walker, and Taylor Hendricks are kind of the more up there prospects where I don't know if they would fall to 11. But this batch of guys right here, Nick Smith Jr., Jordan Hawkins, Cam Whitmore, Kaysen Wallace, and Kobe Buffkin from Michigan. This 5 right here, I absolutely love kind of the value you would get on a prospect like this at 11. I mean, Jordan Hawkins, he's my man. I mean, I absolutely love his game. If somehow the Bulls could trade up to 11 and land Jordan Hawkins, if you guys don't know about his game, he's pretty much the next Ray Allen. I mean, played at UConn just like him. He has an absolute flamethrower. He's got a great release point on his shot, quick release, pretty athletic as well at that guard spot. But overall, those prospects at the 11 to 15 range, I would honestly love all of them if the Bulls were to trade up at 11. And this is a great trade to kind of start the rebuild for the Bulls. Again, I feel like I'm going to repeat myself in almost every video this offseason, but the Bulls need to make a choice. What direction are you going? Are you competing for championships? Or are you going to rebuild, get a fresh start, and kind of start over? That's where I think fans can almost get frustrated with the Chicago Bulls is make a decision. Are we going to compete for championships? Or are we going in a different direction and getting a fresh new slate? But I think this would be a great trade to kind of kick it off as the Bulls would potentially start a rebuild. And if you do this, you probably don't bring back Vooch, and you probably also trade DeMar DeRozan, just get more young pieces in the building. But I ask you guys, would you do this trade? I'm expecting to see a lot of A's for accept down in the comments section. But let me know. Type A for accept or D for decline if you would make this trade. Bulls getting Jalen Suggs, Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac, the 2023 11th overall pick in the NBA draft, and then a 2025 lottery protected first round pick. All you got to give up is Zach LaVine. Let me know what you would do. A for accept, D for decline. Now, I was thinking about this last night when I was just watching the Bulls and Heat game, because I think if you look at the overall rosters, if you compare the Bulls and the Heat, honestly, I can make an argument, top to bottom talent-wise, Bulls probably have more talent. But I think it comes down to the leadership. And we can throw this up on screen, the leaders for both teams. Zach LaVine, I don't really think he has that dog in him. He doesn't really have that kind of defensive intensity you want from your leaders. And then if you look at the 2 leaders for the Miami Heat, Bam and Jimmy, even though those 2 didn't really have phenomenal games on the scoring side of it last night in Game 2 of the NBA Finals, but they bring it defensively, and they're just leaders. I feel like the guys around them, when the Heat role players see Jimmy going, they kind of follow in his footsteps. And that's what I love about what Bam and Jimmy have done in Miami. They've kind of set a culture. They set a precedent. And then with the Bulls' big 3, LaVine, DeRozan, and Vooch, they just haven't really done that. Honestly, Vooch is probably a more skilled center than Bam. But Bam, just what he does defensively, the intensity he brings, he can switch legitimately 1 through 5 on the defensive side of the floor. Vooch can't do that. And Bam, that little push shot he had going last night, I don't know. I just think when you're looking at the leaders on both of these teams, I mean, give me the 2 in Miami over the big 3 in Chicago. And that's why I just think at the end of the day, rip this Band-Aid off and move on. It's going to suck. I understand we went through this kind of experiment of trying to bring in Zach LaVine, DeMar, and Nikola Vucevic, hoping they would work and hoping they would get us to a championship. And we had a nice little thing going for the first 50 or so games in the 2021 season, obviously before Lonzo Ball got hurt. But I even think, if Lonzo were to stay healthy, what would be the max Bulls potential be? It was probably a second round exit at the end of the day, and it starts from the top bottom. It starts with the coach and then your 3 best players, and it's Billy Donovan, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Nikola Vucevic. Those just aren't really guys that I kind of want to bet my money on and go to war with any day of the week. So that's why rip the Band-Aid off. I'm still under the impression, move on, get younger, get more athletic. And that Zach LaVine trade to the Magic, I would absolutely love it. But guys, make sure you guys are subscribed. Again, we're going to be your one-stop shop for all Bulls, news, rumors, trade rumors, whatever it may be. Again, thank you guys so much for everybody who's kind of joined this little journey here at the Bulls Report and joined the family. So again, thank you guys so much. And as always, go Bulls.